There's quite a lot that you cover in that.
Indeed, yeah, we have a number of businesses, um,
Mm,
and that is why we used to have a very siloed landscape of our brand trackers, because the
mm,
businesses operate
mhm,
separately. Yeah, we've got different structures for various teams,
mhm,
and obviously there is a general sales strategy, but operationally they are just different businesses.
mhm. So the decision to bring it all together into an integrated solution, where did that come from?
We kind of anticipated our currently very well defined and pronounced strategy of building total customer value, and we felt that the time is ripe to harmonize the programs that we've got across mobility and lubricants, and at the time also energy business. To understand the total customer value, the total customer view. Um, it was quite evident that with such a wide scope, we are looking at the same people, really, the same customers from
Mhm,
different angles, and we don't have this common denominator. We don't have the view fully integrated. So we have decided
mm,
to put it all together. Cross-selling opportunities are obviously huge, and there is a number of other benefits associated with
mm,
this kind of harmonized harmonization, like
mm.
communication alignment, yeah, understanding what is important for various for our customers in the
Yeah.
context of various businesses, and looking for those common denominators, then translating it into harmonized strategy and harmonized communication. So
Mm,
these were really the two things that drove our decision
mm,
to harmonize. So understanding the total customer view, total customer value, and cross business opportunities in terms of cross selling and communication efficiencies.
mhm.
Obviously, there
S-
are also, if I may just add, there are also process efficiencies.
Of
If you
course, yeah.
use fewer vendors to run the
Mhm,
program, that makes everything just more, well, easier, more efficient,
mm.
more cost effective. Sample efficiencies are very attractive. So yeah, that was an extra incentive on top of the benefits for the business.
Mm. So one thing before we get into the details, would you say that it was kind of the idea was received well from the business when you first started exploring it? Was it a positive reaction?
So I think everyone appreciated the opportunity. Yeah, that was quite
Mm,
evident that the opportunity is there. But it is a big and complex
mm,
company, and our businesses also have quite a lot of heritage. And obviously, we had
mm,
legacy programs that used to run sometimes for over 20 years consistently without any trend break. So I wouldn't say, well, there was some healthy skepticism, I would say. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just well, we were testing our minds whether this is something that we can overcome in terms of
Mm,
internal engagement and getting buy-in from the stakeholders,
yeah.
balancing the benefits, which were obvious, against the risks, which were less obvious. Yeah, so
Mm,
we had to really carefully analyze the risks and then
mm,
assess the trade-offs.
mm. So you ended up with, uh, I mean, we're effectively talking about 7 different surveys with four trackers within a single ecosystem. I think we're already up to over 1 million responses in the last year and a half, which is incredible. I mean, you're talking about some of those challenges. What were some of the unforeseen challenges? Like, how did you overcome them?
Uh, okay, so well, the idea was to streamline everything, and the
Mm,
first obstacle, which wasn't really unforeseen, but sometimes you just underestimate the how big
yeah.
the problem is, were inconsistencies between those various businesses and trackers in terms, for
Mm,
example, of scope. So we may have different geographical focus for one
yes.
business than for others. And in some cases, we could align these. So we
Mm,
were able to synchronize. In others, the decision was no, we really want to keep it specific
yeah.
for the business, and going through those inconsistencies and making those decisions. Obviously, we have a very strong engagement from our internal stakeholders. I think that was quite a challenge. Transition management. That's
Yeah.
another big challenge. I wouldn't say unforeseen, yeah, but well,
Yes.
you foresee the problems, you just never know when they will pop up. Yeah, so that is,
Exactly.
these
Exactly.
are the surprises that you expect. You just don't
Yeah.
know what they are going to be. Uh, that is a that was a really transformational project. So we have completely redesigned our programs, and
Hmm.
therefore we had to take our stakeholders, and we really have a lot of them, through the change, through the methodology change, scope amendments, new and often unfamiliar design, and get their buy-in, build the
Yeah.
credibility of the program, and give them confidence the data is sound, and the insights they're getting are can be safely used in the business environment.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, the second
Mm.
big challenge.
And
Uh,
timings, I guess, were a
that
big
was my
issue,
last
right?
point. That was
Ah, perfect.
my last point.
Go for
Yes.
it.
Again, it's not something that is unexpected, but we
Mm.
operated under extremely strong time pressure. And
Yeah.
probably the biggest surprise was that we've managed. Actually, that
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have managed to launch it when we wanted to launch it, and it works. Yeah,
Mm.
we obviously had to make amendments after it has been launched, but the initial
Mm.
setup was mostly preserved
Mm.
to this moment. So I think it was a big
Yeah.
success,
And
actually.
you had almost no break or a very short break really between the transition from the older legacy studies to this new one, right? It was you kind of had the continuous or
That actually
correct?
depends on the business. Yeah, in some
Mm-hmm.
businesses we've made the switch quite quickly.
Mm.
In our biggest mobility chunk of the program, biggest in terms of the scope. Yeah, we cover over
Mm.
60 markets with that, and that is related to petrol station. We had quite a long parallel run to make sure that the
Mm.
data is stable, and have a really safe transition
Mm.
between the two programs.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that. Um, so let's talk a little bit about how it works. You mentioned earlier about having fewer agencies, fewer different businesses involved, but you still have quite a lot. You still have your consultancies and your fieldwork, and obviously us as the data platform. How does that multi-agency collaboration work? So, kind of, what did you put into place? And what made it work? Because I think it's a huge success. But from your
Agree.
perspective, how did you make it work? Yeah.
I think really the most important part of the solution and to answer to these questions, people. Well, obviously, we have selected the best agencies there are in the world. Yeah, we work with highest quality partners, but also within each of these agencies, I think we really have very, very good teams, very capable, committed people who are always happy to go the extra mile. And what is, I think, really fundamental for this kind of cooperation is trust and openness. So with good people, you can build that, and then that pays off. What I think is absolutely crucial is the fact that we as Shell, we build long-term relationships. So we invest in the relationship with our partners, and I think they also see return on their investment. So even if you don't have the biggest scope in this cycle of the tracking, you want to stay in the game, and you really want to be seen as collaborative and a good partner. And yeah, I think this is really number one reason why it works. Apart from people, I think you also need procedures, and I think we've got quite a good structure and a relatively good balance between what is centrally designed and imposed and managed, and what is input from all the agencies. We try to listen. We try to listen to the feedback.
I think you do really well.
And adjust things that just don't work. Yeah, because it is. This is the beauty of trackers. Yeah, and this is one of the things I love about trackers, that it is a cycle. Yeah, you've got you make mistakes, you amend them, you apply new rules, and you improve. So after 1.5 2 years of those cycles, I think we zeroed on a relatively smooth project management and cooperation.
So now that you've gotten to a point where it's well established, the processes are in place, what's to come? Because you don't stand still on these things, do you? There's a lot still to do. So what's next?
Yeah, so we have opened, well, to tracking. Yeah, so first you obviously report your performance on a quarterly basis, but there's a number of work streams that are now looking at the cross-selling opportunities, all those things that we have developed that we have never had. But now we can look at the overlap between various categories. Yeah? We needed some time to accumulate enough data, because obviously it is a modular design. Yeah? So in order to have sufficiently robust sample sizes, you need to wait a little bit. So it is now the time when we have really initiated some of those cross-business initiatives. I've got some also a vision of what we can do next with the program in terms of amending its design. I think we can build on using the knowledge that we have collected. So when we started this program, we didn't really know what are the incidence rates of various audiences. Now we do, and we can be really very precise in how we define our audiences next. Yeah, and I think there is an opportunity in designing the questions in a different way using this knowledge and making sure that that actually we capture this overlap already in the questionnaire. There's another big work stream, and this is the drivers analysis. We are in cooperation with Harmony developing a capability actually to create drivers real time in a very flexible way, so we can change the dependent and independent variables in a very flexible way. And when we integrated it with this cross-category analysis, we are going to get a really very powerful tool. So looking at the drivers across categories, I think this is really next big thing. Yeah. Once we've got that,
exactly.
once we've got that, we can run simulations and modeling of our preference and other metrics. We can complement it with the data that we run internally with our market and business data. So I would love to integrate our drivers analysis with marketing mix modeling that we do using non-survey data.